Night after night, I watch over this city. But now someone stands in the shadows who knows my every move before I make it, stalking me.
When Batman, Under the Red Hood, was released in 2010, it immediately stood out as one of DC's most powerful and emotionally driven animated films. The movie explored not just the physical battles that Batman faces, but also the deep emotional scars and moral conflicts that define him as a hero. Set in Gotham City, a world shrouded in crime, corruption, and chaos, this story delved into one of the darkest chapters of Batman's life, the loss of his protege, Jason Todd, and the haunting consequences of that tragedy years later. It's a film that doesn't just showcase the hero's strength, but his pain, guilt, and the consequences of the choices he makes in his lifelong war on crime. The film opens with a devastating moment that sets the tone for everything that follows. The Joker brutally murders Jason Todd, the second Robin, in an abandoned warehouse. Batman arrives too late, and the explosion that follows leaves him broken, both physically and emotionally. That moment becomes a wound that never truly heals, lingering over every decision he makes from that point forward. Years later, a new masked vigilante appears in Gotham. The Red Hood, a mysterious figure who operates with brutal efficiency, taking control of the city's underworld through fear and violence. Unlike Batman, the Red Hood has no hesitation in killing criminals, using their own methods against them. His arrival reignites a chain of events that forces Batman to confront his past and the ghosts that still haunt him. As the story unfolds, Gotham becomes a battleground between Batman, the Red Hood, and the Black Mask, a ruthless crime lord whose empire begins to crumble under Red Hood's reign of terror. The tone of the film is steeped in tension, with every encounter between Batman and this new adversary carrying emotional weight. The Red Hood knows Batman intimately, predicting his every move, pushing him to his limits. It's not long before the truth is revealed. The Red Hood is none other than Jason Todd, resurrected and consumed by anger and betrayal. He's not only fighting Gotham's criminals, but also seeking revenge against the man who failed to save him, his mentor, his father figure, Batman. The confrontation between Batman and Jason is the emotional core of the film. It's not a simple battle between good and evil, it's a tragic clash of ideals. Jason doesn't just want revenge, he wants answers. He wants to know why Batman never killed the Joker, the man who took his life in such a brutal way. His pain and rage are understandable, even justified, and that's what makes the conflict so powerful. Batman's refusal to cross that line, even for justice, becomes both his greatest strength and his deepest flaw. Their confrontation culminates in one of the most heart-wrenching moments in any Batman story, where the line between vengeance and justice blurs beyond recognition. Throughout the film, the animation and direction bring Gotham to life in a way that feels raw, cinematic, and emotionally charged. The dark alleys, the neon lights, the towering buildings, everything feels alive, creating a sense of danger and despair that perfectly complements the story's tone. The action sequences are fast, brutal, and beautifully choreographed, capturing the physical intensity of Batman's world while never losing sight of its emotional depth. The fight scenes are not just battles of strength, but expressions of emotion, rage, guilt, love, and sorrow, all colliding in violent motion. One of the film's most striking aspects is its portrayal of Batman as a man haunted by failure. This version of the Dark Knight isn't just a symbol of justice. He's a man struggling with grief and regret. Every flashback to Jason's time as Robin adds layers to their relationship, the bond between a mentor and his apprentice, a father and his son. You see Jason's impulsiveness, his hunger to make a difference, and Batman's struggle to guide him without breaking him. When Jason's death plays out, it's not just another tragic event in Batman's life, it's the one that defines him, shaping every decision he makes thereafter. The Joker's presence in the film is both horrifying and captivating. He represents chaos in its purest form, a force that exists only to destroy and mock everything Batman stands for. His actions are unpredictable, his words dripping with cruelty and dark humor. In many ways, he becomes the spark that ignites the entire story, not just as Jason's killer, but as the embodiment of everything Batman refuses to become. The film doesn't shy away from showing the depth of his evil, but it also highlights his twisted connection to both Batman and Jason, making him a crucial part of the tragic triangle that drives the story forward. What makes Batman, Under the Red Hood, stand out among other animated superhero films is its emotional maturity. It doesn't rely on flashy spectacle or mindless action. Instead, it focuses on character, emotion, and consequence. The story is built on the pain of loss, the complexity of forgiveness, and the thin line between justice and vengeance. Every character in the film has their own perspective on morality: Batman's refusal to kill, Jason's belief in killing for justice, and Joker's total rejection of morality altogether. This moral triangle gives the story its weight, forcing viewers to question what it truly means to be a hero. Another remarkable element is how the film explores redemption and resurrection. Jason's return from death isn't treated as a simple miracle, it's a curse. He's alive, but he's lost his innocence, his faith, and his sense of purpose. His rebirth as the Red Hood is symbolic. He wears the same identity that once belonged to the Joker, the man who destroyed him. It's a tragic cycle of pain and revenge, one that underscores the theme of how trauma can twist even the noblest intentions into something dark and destructive. As Batman tries to reason with Jason, you can feel the emotional weight of years of guilt pressing down on him. He tries to explain that killing the Joker would be too easy, that it would betray everything he stands for. But Jason doesn't want philosophy, he wants closure. He wants to see the man who murdered him pay with his life. Their argument isn't just about morality, it's about love. Jason sees Batman's refusal to kill the Joker as proof that he doesn't care enough, while Batman sees it as the only way to honor Jason's memory without losing himself. It's a devastating misunderstanding between two people who love each other but can no longer see eye to eye. The film's pacing keeps the tension tight from start to finish. It balances action and emotion perfectly, giving each moment room to breathe. Every punch, every line of dialogue, every silent stare between Batman and Jason carries meaning. Even the quieter moments, Batman standing over Jason's grave, Alfred's subtle concern, the lingering shadow of the Joker, all contribute to a sense of tragedy that builds toward the inevitable confrontation. By the time the final showdown arrives, it feels less like a battle and more like a heartbreaking conversation between two souls torn apart by fate. When the credits finally roll, the audience is left with a sense of reflection rather than satisfaction. There's no clean resolution, no perfect ending. Batman saves the day, but he doesn't save Jason. The Joker survives, as always, and Gotham remains a city drowning in corruption. But what's changed is the emotional landscape. Batman's burden has grown heavier, and Jason's pain remains unresolved. It's a story about the cost of being a hero, the pain of loss, and the impossibility of saving everyone. Over time, Batman, Under the Red Hood, has become one of the most respected entries in DC's animated universe. Fans and critics alike praise its mature storytelling, emotional depth, and faithfulness to the essence of Batman's world. It doesn't simplify or sanitize the darker aspects of the mythos. It embraces them, turning tragedy into a powerful narrative about love, loss, and moral struggle. Even after all these years, it remains a defining example of how animated superhero films can be just as impactful, dramatic, and meaningful as their live-action counterparts. The legacy of this film lies not just in its storytelling, but in the questions it leaves behind. How far should a hero go to deliver justice? Is restraint a sign of strength or weakness? And what happens when those we love most become our greatest enemies? Batman, Under the Red Hood, doesn't give easy answers, and that's what makes it unforgettable. It's a story about broken people trying to make sense of an unforgiving world, about a hero who refuses to compromise his values even when they cost him everything, and about a lost son who returns not for forgiveness, but for understanding. In the end, the film captures the heart of what makes Batman such a timeless character. He's not perfect, he's not unbreakable, but he never stops fighting for justice, for redemption, and for the hope that someday his city and his soul might finally find peace. Batman Under the Red Hood is more than just a story about vengeance. It's a meditation on pain, morality, and the enduring bond between father and son, even when that bond is tested beyond repair. It's dark, emotional, and deeply human, a true masterpiece in the world of superhero storytelling.